It impacts your brain in a similar way addictive drugs does. And you and your children may be consuming these items every day and sometimes several times a day. Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about candy. Halloween is coming. I know everybody's excited. And I just wanted to talk about something that actually occurred. So I was at a trunk and treat with my daughter yesterday. One of the moms there, we were in a line at one of the food trucks. They had a few vendors there where we could purchase items. And so the vendor had offered my daughter some candy to eat because they had other products that we cannot have in our diet, et cetera, et cetera. And so we were just gonna get something to drink, some water. And so they said, "Oh, well, we do have candy. You can have some candy." So I was like, "Oh, it's okay. No, thank you. I really appreciate it. But we don't eat candy." And so the mom was like, "Oh, well, what fun is that? You can't have candy. You can't have dairy. That's childhood." And so while she was judging me for my parenting choices, I just said to her, I said, "Yeah, well, there's more fun to life than just candy, and we just don't do it." I stand firm on my stance to not give my children things that have artificial dyes and high fructose corn syrup in it. And not to say that they cannot have a special treat that, may be higher on the sugar side than what a typical day would go for. However, there are sometimes no exception to the rule of the no high fructose corn syrup and the no artificial dyes. With that being said, most of the candies today, especially with the bigger brands, I'm not going to name names, don't have time for those type of lawsuits. Some of those brands today, those major brands, they have a lot of junk in it that's not really the best for our children. While I'm not judging her for her parenting choices, I just would wish that my parenting choices would be respected as well. I don't know where people get this idea that it's okay to judge a parent for not wanting their child to have something that has absolute no nutritional value or no value at all for their child just because you believe that it should be fun. So what I do with my child is we do go trick or treating. We do participate in events like that. And what we do, and we've taught her from birth, and we taught my son the same thing, so they don't feel like they're missing out at all. We have fun. They dress up. We go, we collect the candy, and guess what? We're collecting it so that we can donate to the people that want it. We don't eat it. We know that. They know that. They like to see the different types of candies that's in there, the different colors. Like, oh, haha. Okay, they are gonna love this package once they get this candy. That's what we've done from day one. That's something that they know now. They know that they're collecting candy to donate it to someone else in need or someone else who may want the candy. And that's it. They don't feel like they're being robbed. They don't cry when they come home and we put the candy bags on the table. They know that it's not something that's for us, that's something that we will not have. And it's okay. There's no tears. They talk about how much fun they had. And on occasion, maybe I will get them a natural candy or maybe just something that just does not have the extra junk in it that's just not necessary. And so I'm gonna read a couple of little things that high fructose corn syrup and having the artificial dyes have done and does to us. And it's worse in children because the regulations are regulated for adults and they're not regulated or they haven't been put together for children. So children are usually the top consumers. Children and teenagers are the top consumers of these products, and yet and still it has not been, these numbers of what is okay and safe are based on adults, not what a child would have, which is probably double or triple that amount that an adult would typically consume. So let's see, okay, here. High fructose corn syrup will alter the brain's ability to learn and remember information, right? So long term, it diminishes the brain's ability to learn and retain that information. Isn't that important in life? What is the purpose of learning something if you're not going to be able to retain it? There was no purpose. You might as well have said you never learned the information. So you just are receiving information, but your brain is not processing and holding on to it. That's cognitive, right? So sugar is a primary source of energy, right, for the brain. We need sugar. We need it in some type of form. But too much of that can cause an overdrive, which can lead to hyperactivity and mood swings. Our kids are already going through a lot. They're very hormonal, especially certain age groups, pre-puberty, post-puberty, all of it. They're all moody toddlers. Like, it's just, we don't need to add anything to their lives that's going to cause them to be any crankier than naturally they're already going to be, right? And that's the same for us adults. We're already cranky. We're humans. We're cranky. We're moody. We don't need anything to cause us to just be over the top with that, right? So then it also stimulates the neurons in the brains, which are a part of our reward system. So then it generates the emotion of pleasure, which in turn reinforces the craving for that sugar. So what it does is your brain gets stimulated and it says, "Oh wow, I like the way I felt when little Johnny was tearing that Kit Kat up. That we felt good. We were relaxed. We were vibing out. This was good. I want Johnny to have another Kit Kat." So the brain's gonna send a little signal wave down, and Johnny's gonna be like, I want another Kit Kat. And it perpetuates that cycle. Not good, right? Okay. So, but then they're saying that it's not addictive. I'm gonna post some links during and at the end of this video. You can pause it to read, and then I also in the description I will tag the links on the sources to where I got majority, if not all, of the information. Either the link will be in the caption or it will be listed below, so that you can follow up on that, continue to read a lot of those great articles, and then also do your own further research. But anyway, so um, the FDA is saying that it's not addictive, but if you think if your body is craving something and it gives you the strong desire to want that, no, I want that, you gotta go get it, I want that, I want that, I want that. It's a strong urge desire to want it, to have it, against what you would probably naturally want if it wasn't for this thing overstimulating a certain portion in your brain and saying that you want it. Well, when you think about drugs does the same thing. Drugs will then trigger a portion in your brain that says, "Oh yeah, that feels good. We feel good when we're on that. Yeah, we need that again. Let's go get that. I'm telling you, you want that. You're craving that." And that's the very cycle of an addiction, right? So I don't know where the FDA was going with it when they said that it's not addictive, because sounds and smells like addiction to me, but I'm not here to argue with them or convince them otherwise. So we're just gonna move along from that, right? And so it's funny how a lot of these countries have either banned or severely restricted the use of either high fructose corn syrup or the artificial dyes, right? So Europe did not ban the high fructose corn syrup, but what they did do, they said, "Hey, if you're gonna have this in the product, you need to put a warning label on your package," right? And so those companies then said, the same companies that are selling stuff to us here, Hershey's, Kit Kat, Nerds, all of them. So they're like, "Oh, you know what? Those labels are not gonna look that great on our packages. It's going to be a bright red warning, warning. Who's going to want to feed that to their children? Maybe that's not going to have us look good. Let's think of some alternatives." So you know what they did? They changed the formula up and they used natural dyes to change the coloring to achieve the effect that they were looking for. And guess what? They're selling just great over there. But here in America, they said, "We don't care about these Americans. Forget being patriotic. We ain't care about none of them. We just want to get to the bag. We're going to leave that in there. We're going to get them hooked, but it's not an addiction." Kind of like what they did with the opioid and Oxy and all that stuff. Do your research. So we're just gonna leave that there. We're just gonna let them have at it and just keep telling them, like, "No, no, I know that you think you're addicted, and I know that you have addiction behavior. I know you're walking like a duck, you're talking like a duck, you look like a duck, you're acting like a duck, or all signs says that you're a duck, but baby, you are not a duck." That's what's going on here with these companies in America. They're still leaving all that stuff in there. And then we're wondering why our kids are having issues. We're wondering why ADHD levels have skyrocketed by far over the past several decades, and the number just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and climbing. So I don't see any benefit to my children consuming these ingredients. I did research. I made a stance as a parent to try, and once I learn better, I do better, right? So I didn't have that. I was I never was a big candy eater, but I'm sure I was tearing up some high fructose corn syrup. I have overweight issues. You see these bat wings, right? So okay, let me not pass that trauma down to my children. Let me do better for them so that they in turn can do better for their children, and it just keeps going from generation to generation. Why get stuck when you know that this when you have resources right in front of your face? There's so many articles. Again, just go on Google, type in what happens when my child consumes red dye 40, red 3, yellow 5. Any of them, look up the dyes. They're causing aggressive behaviors. Children are acting out, and it's not their fault. They cannot control it. We are part of why our children are climbing up the walls and going crazy. We are a part of that problem. So don't look at me, Miss Ma'am, in the line like I'm a bad mom because I am choosing to not give these things to my children when I'm not side-eyeing you for, going ahead and feeding carcinogens and all kinds of stuff that's causing issues within your children or grandchildren. You don't want the judgment. I don't either. Maybe you don't know. Okay, but let's not pass judgment because it's not looking cute, boo-boo. Okay, so here's where I'm going to add in all of these different little clips and tidbits that you can pause to read on. The one that gets me the most is the one about it being non-addictive. But again, pause screen here, and I'm just going to insert all of these here for you to see. This is the one that gets me the most. It says that there is no credible scientific evidence to suggest that calorie sweeteners such as sugar and high fructose corn syrup are addictive to humans in general. But then it says, however, a study shows that high fructose corn syrup can cause behavioral reactions in rats similar to those produced by addictive drugs such as cocaine. Previous research has also shown that high fructose corn syrup impacts the brain in a way similar to addictive drugs, triggering a response in the brain's reward system circuitry that leads to continued cravings. So what do they mean if it's doing the same exact thing to your body that cocaine does to your body? And cocaine is highly addictive, but high fructose corn syrup isn't? Make it make sense. The math ain't mathing. Okay, so to sum it up, based on what I've shared, these are the different effects on the body that consuming regularly high fructose corn syrups and artificial dyes will do. So, okay, it affects the ability to learn and remember information. It disrupts the proper brain development, and it adds cognitive effects in adulthood if you have consumed a lot during your childhood. It has addictive but not addictive traits. It exaggerates the emotions. It overstimulates the brain. It causes cravings for more, which is the non-addictive, addictive part, right? It depletes the body of zinc. It increases inflammation. It can cause cancer, can cause tumor, hypersensitivity, causes neurobehavioral issues. It interrupts the bacteria in your gut, and it can break down, which can also cause cancer. It disrupts the functioning of the immune system. It contains cancer-causing toxic contaminants. Dyes are made from petroleum, which causes behavioral changes, allergies, migraines, cancer, nerve cell degeneration, and hyperactivity. Need I say more? Do we need to revisit this? Do I need to sound more convincing? Do you need more proof? What more is needed to understand that having this in your day-to-day diet or in your child's day-to-day diet is not beneficial? It is not something that we need. It is crippling us. It is crippling us as a country. It is crippling us as a human population. It shortens our lifespan overall. Like, we don't need it. We do not need it. And the misconception that you are a bad person for electing to not go with societal norms from something that you know is dangerous and harmful to your body is literally insane. I don't understand it. But what I say here is this: I'm not telling you as a parent what choices to make for your child or what you should do for your own personal life and health. What I am saying is that learn, research, and if you choose to still want to have your child consume candy, okay, do it in a smaller quantity. Maybe they don't need to have candy every day as a reward. Okay, you want to do it once a year on Halloween, okay, just checks and balances. But going completely off the deep end, out of control, maybe isn't the best. But also, let's not judge others and let people do what they're gonna do. I'm just here to give information. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel and comment below if you have any feedbacks or thoughts on this topic, or if you want me to cover anything in the next video. See you later.